Hello, I'm Aspacia, and this is my husband, Richard. We are the proud owners of Penguin City Brewing Company. We are so excited to bring you along this fun adventure in exploring craft breweries.
There are select ingredients and steps in the craft brewing process. There are select ingredients and steps this show will take to make you a craft brewery ambassador.
The ingredients in this show are the people who craft the brew, the local businesses they support, some did you know in the craft brewing industry, and the crafting of your taste.
The phrase on tap in the industry means ready to be poured. On tap also means to be ready.
Let's get on tap and learn how craft brewing is more than just beer.
Craft breweries,
local businesses,
your communities, on tap.
You're watching
More Than Just Beer.
And now we're going to talk about the Ohio Craft Brewers Association, the OCBA. Penguin City Brewing Company, we've been members for quite some time and find it extremely valuable. And I'd like to introduce you now to Justin Heminger of the OCBA. And so why don't you tell us something about yourself?
Thanks for having me on the show. I'm the Deputy Director of the Ohio Craft Brewers Association. We're the nonprofit that represents all of Ohio's independent small breweries, of which there are over 430. We represent, as members, we represent about 340 of the 430. So, a large percentage of the breweries feel a need to have this connection, this community among themselves to better the industry, and we help to facilitate that.
Oh, yeah, and we appreciate it. We were just at the conference. Was that last weekend or, well, not the weekend, but just before that. And not only was it a lot of fun, which it was, but there was a lot of resources, a lot of information. It was my first time going to one, and I really loved it.
Yeah, it's one of the values of the Ohio Craft Brewers Association is education. And making sure that all of our member breweries have the resources that they need and the education and the training that they need to make the best beer possible. Because the better your beer is, the better everybody's craft beer is, the more appealing it is to people to consumers who may not be may not drink craft beer on a regular basis and want to get into it. And as long as if the first craft beer they try is great, they're going to try another one, and they're going to try another one, and they're going to try another one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what is the importance of a strong beer industry?
Because beverage alcohol is such a wide gamut of products, beers, wines, spirits. You have large multinational companies that make these products. You have small breweries like yours that make these products. Having an industry and an industry association that brings together the interests of all one type of beverage alcohol product, like craft beer, having a single voice behind all of that helps to raise everyone up and helps to raise the profile of beer, helps to make beer front of mind with consumers. And honestly, we've seen so much growth in this industry over the last 10 years, basically because the industry helps each other. Every brewery is in competition with each other in one way or another. But at the end of the day, everyone wants everyone else to succeed because moving the category forward is more important than moving just one brewery forward.
Exactly.
Definitely. We'll reach out. Everybody you're obviously in competition. It's a business, but, we'll reach out to people, local breweries, we have one right down the road.
If there's help.
Yeah, need help. You need, you're missing 10 pounds of an ingredient. Your neighbor might have some. Or, he or she has done a particular process and technique that you haven't tried yet, and you'd rather use their knowledge than fail, because that time and money and everything. So, yeah, it's really important, the camaraderie as well as the business and everything.
Yeah, and just, the collective marketing that a group like ours can offer. We have our Ohio on Tap passport app. It's a statewide brewery passport. It encourages people to go check out breweries all over the state. We have our magazine, we have our website, our social media. We can share all of your stories through our channels and just kind of have a central clearinghouse of stories that help to promote the industry.
And people love using that app. Like, people love touring breweries. Like, it's becoming a touring part of Ohio, like in the touring industry.
Yeah.
Going along the beer trail.
Beer tourism is huge. As we've seen, regional passport trails like in Akron, Columbus, Cleveland, Dayton. Most of the major cities have a small regional passport, and people love to go to all the different breweries that are popping up in their communities and supporting all of these small businesses that are making their communities great.
Yeah, you can go to any local brewery in whatever state, whatever city, and you'll realize that they're all different. No two systems are exactly the same. Just building shape, size, what kind of tanks, everything. It's really interesting. I think even for somebody who isn't looking at their own tanks every single day and they don't know absolutely every aspect about brewing, it's still interesting to go in and take a tour.
Yeah, and you're going to get a different experience at every brewery that you visit, right? Some breweries are going to make lagers and specialize in lagers. Some are going to specialize in IPAs or in sours. Some are going to have attractions within the brewery that are unique to them or unique to the area. There's something at every brewery that every brewery does great, and it's worth exploring all of it.
And that's what I love about it. Everyone does have their unique thing. Even though it's all the same, when you walk in every brewery, there's something that makes them their own thing.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of unique things, what have you found are some of the most interesting and unique aspects of the industry?
The thing that makes this industry unique to other beverage alcohol, other small business industries, is the people that comprise craft brewing, right? There's a cooperative spirit among craft brewers that you don't see in other industries. There's a welcoming, the breweries in pretty much every community operate as a social gathering place. They operate as a cultural hub for their neighborhoods or their towns. The people make the industry and not the other way around. And that's really what drew me into craft beer, as opposed to some other types of industries. I couldn't do my job being a cheerleader for an industry if I didn't really love it and I didn't feel like a deep personal connection with it. Yeah. And that's what craft beer does for me and for a lot of people.
And I mean, what about what I don't think a lot of people understand with breweries is the impact that it has on the state, the economy, the jobs it creates. I think a lot of people don't really understand, this is a big deal.
Yeah, we've seen so much growth in this industry over the last 10 to 20 years. We do an economic impact study every 2 years, and in 2022, Ohio's craft breweries were responsible for more than $1.2 billion of economic impact.
Wow.
It's the first time we've been able to say that this is $1 billion industry.
That's amazing.
And it's $1 billion industry made up of small businesses, which, that are very community focused. Mm-hmm. Breweries support 12,000 jobs around the state. We've given, hundreds of millions of dollars back to communities in the form of charitable giving, volunteer hours, taxes paid to state and local governments. Breweries are really giving back as much as they're taking from their communities. You're here to serve a community and be a reflection of the community that supports you.
Yeah.
What does craft brewing mean to you, and how is it more than just beer?
Craft beer isn't just a thing you pull off a shelf, right? Craft beer is celebrating good times. It's commiserating over a loss. It's bringing people together, to discuss things they don't agree on, or to rally together to move the ball forward on something. Craft beer is part of our lives. It's not just a niche product that you pick off of a shelf. We've seen so much growth in this industry, and we've seen it mature into the kind of thing that people have access to everywhere. There are breweries in big cities, they're in suburbs, in rural towns, out in the middle of nowhere, and people support these businesses and this industry because it's authentic and because it supports the people who it supports the communities themselves.
And that's exactly why we jumped in. Well, seriously, one of the reasons. That's awesome.
Well, hey, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
Justin.
Thanks
on.
again. Keep
Great
doing
having
what you're doing. This is amazing. What you've built here is great, and I'm really excited to see you sharing the stories of other people like you.
We have Hannah Ferguson from Dope Cider House and Winery, and she is our friend and neighbor here at Penguin City Brewing Company. How did we all get together?
Oh, man, let's go way back. I guess like we kind of knew each other just being in the industry from me brewing at another like local brewery here. That's kind of how we got our connection and association with one another. But I think it pretty much all came together when you all bought this building and you messaged me on Facebook and was like, hey, can you come see the place? And I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, let's just come out to Youngstown to, check this out. Cause like we were all happy about this, exciting. And then I came down here and like you showed me around, showed me the space and you're like, do you see yourself in this space? And I just looked at you cause I like, how did you know this is what I wanted to do?
And yeah, we met like a couple times in like craft beer fest and stuff like that. And I mean, cider and beer, it just goes together.
What made you get into this business? Did you just say, hey, I feel like I'll just make some cider and wine and then go from there?
So I got into home winemaking it's a little over 10 years ago now that I started making wine at home. And I had just moved back home. I had moved away for about 6 years. I had lived in Orlando, moved back home. And I was just like in this weird state. I was like in this like, I call it like somewhat a depressed state where I'm like, okay, what do I do now in life? I've done everything I was supposed to do, right? Went to college, went and got my master's, did all of this. And I was like, and here I am back at home. I'm living with my mom at the time. And then I remembered that my stepmother had some cousins that made homemade wine. And I was like, let me go try this out. So I reached out to them, like, hey, can you guys show me how to make some wine? I want to try it, finally. And that's how I started. I started with 10 gallons, a red and a white. And then it grew over the years from 10 gallons to 20 gallons to at one point, I had like 70 gallons of wine going at one time in the basement. So,
Yeah.
And then that's when like there was more starting around our area, craft breweries popping up. And when I realized that craft breweries, majority of them were home brewers who decided to do this professionally. And when I realized that I didn't have to own a vineyard or orchard, I can do this too. I can take my home base and so I started planning like 5 years in the works. And then like three years into that 5 years, that's when I flipped my business plan. I flipped from wine focus to cider because cider is that growing industry. With cider, I was like, I can play with the flavors. And that's what I like to do. I like to blend and just see what I can create, changing the flavor profile of apple cider and turning it into something different. And we've done some collaborations together where we've done our cider ales and things like that. And it's just, that's how it started.
And it's so good. I love the Penguin City light and the cherry cider.
Oh, that worked out quite well.
Seriously,
It's a great pair.
so good.
We did a few different things,
Oh
I
yeah,
think the very first one, I even created a base that was just it wasn't a recipe I already had. I just made it a little sweeter, a little different, a little more body, and that mixed really well together. And then we did the other one where it was Penguin Light, with a drier.
Yeah,
that
They're both good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll do more in the
so
future.
good.
They enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed it. So.
And the coolest name.
Oh,
Seriously.
Yeah.
Dope Cider House and Winery is so amazing.
Thank you.
So where did that name come from?
Well, dope has been like a term like from the 80s where it was always something that was kind of like cool, hip, positive. And I would always say it. Like I never like stopped saying it. Like I'm an 80s baby, but I was like, I felt like I just kept that word going like forever. And so when I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and do a business, I was like, it has to be dope. And then I was like, wait, that's going to be the business name, dope. But again, like with that, I didn't want it to just be just dope, the word dope. I was like, it has to have a meaning. So I actually was like just stuck. And then so I reached out, I called my brother. I was like, hey, I'm starting a business. It's going to be called Dope, but it has to be an acronym. I need help. Thinking of something like how we can do it. And I had like literally already did my LLC, everything. It said Dope Brands LLC. I was like, but what does dope mean? What does it mean to me? I wanted it to be something positive. And he literally called me back like 5 minutes later and was like, dwelling on positive energy. All the time people come in like, oh, this is dope. And then, or they'll say like, they'll drink this. We're like, oh, you made this? Oh, that's dope. And so it's just, and then when people find out what it means, then they really love it.
I mean, you have a title. So yeah, in Youngstown, Ohio, we have Hannah, who also has a title. And what is that?
When I was brewing craft beer, I was given the title of being the first Black professional female brewer in the state of Ohio. And then when I opened Dope Cider House and Winery, I am the first Black-owned cidery in the state of Ohio. I am second in the United States, but I think I'm the only one that's currently open as of right now as a full cidery.
Wow. That's amazing, actually.
And it's here in Youngstown.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that is just so
It had to be here. That's like another thing. Like, it's scary. Like, to be the first in anything, and then also to think, like, we're in 2020, 2021, now 2024, and you're still saying a Black person or a person of color is the first of something. Whether if you're a female, a woman, or anything like that, to be the first is crazy. And then then I'm like looking like, oh, I can't mess this up. Like, because it's like, if I mess this up, then it feels like I mess it up for everybody behind me. So it was like all like those nerves and excitement all at once that I have. I still have. But it's just like, I think I'm doing it pretty okay right now. I'm
doing a great job.
Going 2 years in.
You know, just like we do, this business can be stressful even without being the first of anything.
Yeah.
It's not easy, you know. What does craft brewing, cider and wine mean to you? And why is it more than just beer?
Cider.
More than just cider.
More than just cider. When people say, I don't like beer, I don't like cider, I'm like, have you tried craft beer? Have you tried craft cider? Because I feel like there is a beer for everybody. People who say they don't like beer, I feel like there's a cider for everybody. I hated wine. Didn't like dry wines, only like the super sweet. And now, like, I gave myself a chance for my palate to change. And again, like, that's where when that craft part comes in and you're being small and local, it gives you the opportunity still to kind of play around and have fun to master that craft. But craft, I think, like, people need to understand that word is a huge difference.
You get to introduce people to something really cool and delicious that they may not have known before, and they can support local, same time, get a really nice experience. It's really cool.
I mean, I love having you next door.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely love it. And I love that we're all in it together, trying to make our downtown better and and we help each other out. So yeah, it's awesome.
Like I said,
it's so awesome.
I feel like I should be a teacher because, like I said, as much as we teach, because like even sometimes people will be like, you guys are right next to it. It's like, how does that work? I'm like, actually, it works great. I was like, it works fine, because he also was like, it's not like people say, even though we do some similar things, or like it's not a competition. Like I said, it's not, people are going to like what they like, but people also like trying new things. Like, I was like, if Cleveland can do it where it's like, you can walk to 5 breweries, Columbus, you can walk to 7, they're all on the same street. And like, we can do that here. And it's not like, hey, we're worried about this customer or losing this customer, but we're all actually gaining the same customers. Because really, when people get out, they like to get out. And I was like, so like I said, it's being here right next to each other is like a perfect pairing. So
it is.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Hannah,
okay.
Thank you so much
thanks
for being here.
Hey guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the one that started it all for us. It's the Penguin City Beer Golden Ale. What I wanted to accomplish with this beer is to create something that's not too far off from some of the bigger guys with their medium body and, you know, everything like that. So pretty much. Oh, hey, Mr. Mayor.
How you doing, sir?
Well, I'm fine. How about yourself?
Good, good.
All right, well, this is a pleasant surprise.
I heard you over there talking about the golden ale, and
Oh, can I get you one?
I definitely take one.
All right. There you go. See what you think.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, the whole goal wanted to be an approachable beer. A lot of times when people who don't really know craft beer, they think automatically IPA and
Right.
they think bitter and they think, I just don't want that bitter stuff.
Mhm.
I want something classic like my dad or grandpa used to drink or they let me sip on after
Right.
I mowed the lawn.
Mhm.
So I needed it to be somewhere, you know, it has to have a little more body, a little more flavor than your average big guy.
Mhm.
You know, take any macro brewery, just a little more body, a little more flavor, but still in that range of
Right.
just a classic beer. And you know, it's tweaked over. I've tweaked it a little bit over the years. So let's see what we think.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure this will change over the years, and it already has. But I'm good with this one.
Thank you.
Well, we had a great show today. We had Hannah Ferguson from Dope Cider House and Winery. We also had Justin Heminger from OCBA. And we also had a special guest, Mayor Brown. And I'd like to thank all of you for watching More Than Just Beer. Now let's have a toast.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody.
Remember to enjoy responsibly. Thank you for watching.
More Than Just Beer. This is a production of the Socially Good TV Network.